Main thing I wanted to address was some of the comments about, I think it would be useful for me to better articulate how the Conservation Fund works, how we operate, and how we extend the one conservation dollar. There's been comments about how easements and partner funding, et cetera, can advance the dollar of this committee, and I think those are all very fair. And when I look at a property, or when the Conservation Fund looks at a property, when I take it to our real estate committee, we go over the same sorts of questions. I would like to send more detailed materials that will provide more insight, but I think as a brief overview, and I'll take some of the Lox Lucy properties as an example, those are kind of outside TCF's normal MO, in that they were acquired not with our revolving fund dollars, but rather were fundraised for privately. That means that we fundraised for the properties, anticipating a deal, then had cash in hand to give that property owner. On the occasion that we move those properties into the hands of people that manage them long term, so in this case, we are engaged in exotic invasive treatment under our ownership, but we probably would not engage in a full restoration or water treatment project like the Kitchen Creek Preserve, because that's not our specialty. Our specialty is putting acreage into conservation. When we sell on those properties, it would be contingent upon an easement, which we don't hold any easements. Our ownership we're not going to be putting any strip malls on there, but our ownership represents that property being logistically moved into conservation. But the sale price, when we move it on, will be our acquisition price plus our cost of capital, which you can look at as an interest rate, plus covering the incremental costs of fees, due diligence, et cetera. Just looking at Bridge Road, what 2 miles of road frontage on Bridge Road cost in 2020-21 compared to what that same property would cost in 24, 5, 6 is a huge difference. So I think it's fair to bring up the point to where a sale of Lox Lucy acquired properties to the county would, compared to Whitworth, for example, or some of the currently listed items, would still be, you can look at it as a 20 cents on the dollar versus the full dollar. I would like to submit materials or give a more detailed presentation outlining some of the numbers, because I don't want to speak on them just off the top of my head. And perhaps that could be at the next meeting, or alternatively, I could submit materials that could be emailed to you all to read at your convenience.
Through Mike, please. So
Okay.
would it be appropriate to say, or is this totally inappropriate, that you provide a bridge loan effectively?
We have a conservation loan program. That's not my end of the business. Most of the time, we are contracted by a county, or we are approached by our partners, those being federal, state, county, et cetera, because we can move quicker than other entities to acquire properties for those same reasons I just outlined, where property prices increase. The property might go to someone else who does not have the same intentions, and this basically locks that property on a shorter time frame into conservation. If there's any other questions, happy to answer them.
What's your cost of capital, roughly?
I think I can say 5% right now.
So if you finance a deal, would it be prime plus 200 basis points, 300 basis points? How does that work?
It's difficult to say because it really is on a deal-by-deal basis,
Yeah.
but I'm comfortable saying 5% annual cost of capital, plus for example, appraisal fees, due diligence cost. Mr. Campenni, you are correct that TCF, we do have a legal team. They are going to get paid no matter what. But the sort of other incidental costs as part of the deal are included into the sale price to the end buyer.
Got it.
So all your closing costs.
Yeah, yes.
So Dan, from a real estate broker's perspective, what's your take?
I mean, go ahead, Dan, you, go ahead.
I think it's attractive. The 5%. It's interesting the way you put the program together, where it seems to be affordable to the buyer.
I think I'm also currently under contract, TCF is with Brevard County, and that's another project I'm working on. And in that case, a property owner would approach our team. We handle the willing seller letters, get those details together, and then we bring it to a similar committee that exists there. We negotiate the deal, go through that process. They don't have, in the Loxalucy case, that was basically forward thinking and was put forward as an impetus from concerned citizens in the surrounding area who said, I think we can fundraise towards some of this now. And that started in 2020.
How do you pick the people that you sell the property to manage it once you acquire it?
It will always, it almost always is federal, state, or county,
Okay.
so that it ensures the property will be conserved in perpetuity.
Okay.
And you're a
We
501c3.
are a nonprofit.
And it can be attractive for an agency to work with these land trusts. They can be more flexible. They can be quicker than we can be in terms of like getting things, if you have one that's for sale and it's a hot property, it takes us time because we've got to, get the ELOC together. We got to take it to the board just to get in the game. And so they can move a lot quicker than we can. And then there are some instances where landowners won't talk to a government. So they can get involved and help to bridge that gap and do the deal with the landowner and then pass it along to the government agency.
And there are, John and Mike, do you mind if I talk about some of our past conversations? And we were also involved with Martin County Forever and handled some of the donations for that. We've been talking with the county for months, maybe even coming on a year now, about this process. I understand where the county is coming from when they talked about hiring a contractor was not put forward in the ordinance and therefore might go against it. And so as a result, decision was partially made, though no LOI exists necessarily, that we could go out and pre-acquire properties at the request of the county and move forward on from there. This was with county attorneys as well present at the meeting. But of the properties that you all have gone through today, there are more than just the Loxalucy properties that I have gone out to see, engaged with the landowner. In fact, Whitworth is the only property within Loxalucy that I haven't engaged the landowner, also at the request of the county, because they thought they had a deal on the table and didn't want to muddy the water, which is fully understanding. We're fully understanding of that. But Thal is one, Elise J, JR Reserve, Petway, Leonard, both Rogers, the other Rogers piece that we don't own, the Cresser properties, and a number of others, I'm aware of and have dealings with the landowners on.
So question, for the purpose of the minutes, do we need to capture, Council and Mike, what Charles has just noted, or should I ask him for a summary for the minutes for this meeting, or what would you guys like?
We can have Sarah Cornelius, who's our administrative assistant. She typically goes back, listens to the meeting, and looks through the minutes to make sure that they're accurate. So she can go ahead and capture this, since our minutes taker is busy right now, making sure that all this gets incorporated into the minutes.
Okay. Now, Charles, this information you'd be passing out, it should go through Mike.
Mike?
Could you, I think seems to me that would the committee like that before or after the January meeting?
Well, anything we're going to discuss at the meeting, we should have before.
You'd have it before, but do you want to have it well in advance of that, or how do you feel?
Enough to allow some time to review it.
Yes.
Okay, so at least 2 weeks in advance. Okay. So I would say, Charles, at least, probably end of December ideally. Okay.
And again, I might be misunderstanding this, but this is really their department, who they want to partner with. We really don't care.
Right.
So it's nice that he's a nice fellow and all, but it's still at the end of the day, John Mayle and Mike and anybody else at the county and how they decide they want to move forward with acquiring lands.
Well, at the end of the day, it's the Board of County Commissioners.
Well, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's, we don't need to get in the middle of who you want to use as an agent.
Correct.
At the same time, though, they've played a critical role, for example, in Martin County forever. They do a number of things. I think just for everybody's, I go back to the fiduciary duty that we all have. And to the extent that there's a material relationship with an entity such as the Conservation Fund, even though, to your point, Tom, it's definitely not legally binding on us to know about it, I do think that it's part of, maybe put it in the golden rule category, and understanding how the pieces of the puzzle fit together. That's the way I look at it. So,
And I would just like to add, we have been engaged on this for a long time. I think there is agreement, understanding as it stands now. I am a Martin County resident. I did make a vote on this referendum. I completely understand the considerations towards where are the tax dollars going. And I'm not necessarily asking to be contracted. More of the reason why I'm up here at this point is to comment on the properties already in conservation. Why would we have to spend the money on it?
understand. And I think also, quite frankly, if any of us are at a cocktail party or something and somebody says, who's this conservation fund? We want to be able to give them a reasonable answer to that question. And so I think within that context, that's the way I see it.
And when I said I was born in New York and he was born with the rich people, you get the dichotomy.
Now the curtain's pulling back.
I usually say I'm a simple country boy from Brooklyn, but he doesn't agree to that. But in any case,
You sure you want the minutes put out?
no, I think it's really walking in the other person's shoes. And I think that all of us will be talking with someone at some point in time, and they're going to ask us a question, and to the extent that we can answer it, I think it's in the best interest of everybody. So that's the way I see it. So I agree with you. Let's see, how are we doing with in the ballpark? Okay.
About one more page left and then we're good.
And I need to proofread things before we throw it up here and say this is our list.
You have to speak, I
Oh,
don't.
I need to proofread everything before we throw it up there as our list and then actually put the ranks in.
So actually, when we did the list, we had originally discussed, and you'll see in the item that was passed out, that we were going to do each parcel individually as to whether or not we suggest to the BOCC that they approve it. Could I have some discussion, please, on doing them all at once, so that Mike's going to present the findings? The original plan was that we would do each individually. I'm proposing now that we do them, we do it
We do one motion,
for the whole batch.
Yeah,
So Dan, are you, you want a motion to that effect, or do you want?
well, we'll need a motion when we approve the list.
But I'm changing the agenda, and I know that you'll pick on me
We'll
if
do
I.
it all at once.
Okay. So for the record, Camp Penny will not pick on me for changing the sequence. Okay. We are now ready. Michael?
Tell us that joke you know, Mike.
Can I have 5 minutes
Yep.
to look through that list over and convene back?
Yep, sounds good.
it's nap time.
Are you authorized?
Yes. Duly.
Okay, Michael?
So in front of you is the ranked scores for all of our properties. So you can see the total scores are in the L column right here. And then it's broken down by rank from 1 to 16th. So the top ranked project is the Whitworth Farms property. The second is Elise J. The third is the Thal Partnership. The fourth is Perry Beach Addition. The fifth is Palm Beach Heights. The sixth is the Cresser. Seventh, the Burstein. And eighth, the James Wild. The SS Farms property is ranked 9th. The Leonard Park property is ranked 10th. J.R. Stewart Land is ranked 11th. Turnpike Dairy is ranked 12th. The Rogers Atlantic Ridge property is ranked 13th. Poinciana Gardens 14th. Petway 15th. And the Rogers, the Conservation Fund property is ranked 16th. Does anyone have any questions about that or comments?
Do you have the ability to print that out that we could take home and study it?
Yeah.
Or email it to
I don't know if I
us?
can print it from here.
Why don't
How
you,
about I email it to you?
Email it would be great.
I'm going to save this in a place where I can find it. So is there any other questions or comments?
Yes.
When you look at that list, does any of it stand out or surprise you?
That's not my job. So,
smart answer.
yeah.
Brilliant.
So as the county moves through the process and starts making offers on these or presenting them to the board, can you?
Well, we're going to make a motion to that effect.
Oh, are we? Okay.
So what we're going to do is further discussion on the questions on the properties, going around the horn. Dan, John Keller?
I don't understand what you want.
So what we're going to do is we're going to have discussion on the properties, and then I'm going to ask for a motion that we recommend to the Board of County Commissioners that they move forward to negotiate a purchase or conservation easement on all of these properties. So, but before I get to that, is there any discussion as it relates to these properties? Tom?
No.
Beth? David?
No.
John Keller?
No, I'm
Merritt?
happy with them.
No.
I'll move that we recommend to the county commission this list of properties in that order for possible purchase or conservation or agricultural easement.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. Motion's carried. So at this point, we've set up the meeting, so I'm jumping ahead a little bit on the list of items to do. At this point, the meeting is adjourned. Unless you've got something else.
No?
Oh,
John, you want to say something?
I'd love to. Never miss an opportunity to say something publicly. I just hate to lose the significance of the moment. I know you guys, this is just another thing you do for your community, but I don't think it's a small thing that 8 of you would step away from your jobs, your families, your commitments to come spend your TVs, to spend an entire day in the minutia of working through this. But you are truly the manifestation of our citizenry interest in preserving Martin County as it is. And they've entrusted you to come and facilitate that, and I think that's incredibly meaningful. And I think this is one of those moments we'll look back on 10, 15 years from now and say this was a defining moment in making a permanent difference for Martin County. So I just, on behalf of the county, staff, my friends and neighbors, thank you for what you did today, and it means a lot. I also want to introduce a guest. I don't know how many of you got to meet him. Patrick Connolly joined us all day today from the Water Management District. Patrick's role is the program manager or the project manager for SERP IRL South. So he and his team oversee all of the things, all the infrastructure projects that are going to help to clean up the river. And they have been incredibly helpful engaging with us to make sure that we're giving good guidance to you and the board on what qualifies as SERP projects and on a myriad of other efforts to clean up the water. And so it means a lot to me that Patrick would spend his whole day here hearing about our program and all that he's invested in it. And I wanted to make sure to acknowledge him. That's all. Thank you.
Well, thank you, John. Thank you, Patrick, Charles, and Michael, staff.
One more thing.
Yes, sir.
So before I did want to, you asked surprises. One thing to note is that really the top four projects on this list are pretty far separated from the remaining properties in terms of points. So these were all within 30 points of each other, 620 to 592, and the next one down is going to be 518. So there's some pretty, you could definitely say that there is a top tier of priorities to make a recommendation with going forward to the
Well, the committee may correct me on this one, but I think the belief of the committee is that we proceed with all of them, and that that's conveyed to the Board of County Commissioners. Does anybody?
Well, I think the motion was we proceed with all of them in the order
Yeah,
that we ranked them.
exactly.
So we're
But
not going to rush ahead to number 16.
correct. But we're not going to
Until we
split
go through
hairs
one
on
through-
it. Yeah.
No, but it was just, to me, this is a clear delineation and something that we'll mention to the Board of County Commissioners, that these four were definitely much higher ranked than the other properties on the list. That's not going to exclude us from going after number 16 or number 10, but that's an important point to make with our Board of County Commissioners.
That's really your and John's call. I would, were I doing it, I would simply say, here's the ranking, but here's what the vote of the committee was, but that's just me. Great. Meeting's adjourned? You okay?